Hello guys, welcome back. Nice to see you guys again, all of our lovely viewers and subscribers. Today we're going to talk about if you were to ever do a somewhat similar road trip like we have done. So what we're going to talk about is basically different reasons we did this, as well as how much something would cost, where we went, what we saw, what we did, as well as like basically just the idea of just doing a road trip in America. So the reason that we did this was we always talked about doing a road trip while we were long distance during COVID and when Catherine never came back to America. So when she did come back to America, we saved up, we had enough money, and we did the road trip. Now, talking about the road trip, basically, so what we did, it was about, it was 73 and a half hours long for the whole trip. The whole trip from like start in Panama City all the way to finish back home in Fort Lauderdale, all the way in the circle we made, was about a month. It took us about a month to do the whole trip. On the cost, around roughly $2,000, but it could have been more. We were being a little bit more frugal than we could have been. A lot of that money was from Airbnbs, motels, and gas. Some food, we didn't really shop a lot either. A couple other purchases too, but mostly like gas and staying at places. The places we did stay for free, we will go over. They were about 3 campsites that were completely free. All you had to do is kind of a first come, first serve. You get there before anyone else. So the time-wise it took, or the length it took was about almost 7,000 kilometers, which is, that's what I'm told is very, very far.
That's a lot.
That's a very lot.
So for the whole road trip, like you guys can check it out on the playlist, the US road trip. So every city that he mentioned you can all watch it in that playlist. And
if you have any questions about any of the cities, we'll let you know. We actually found out a lot of things about the cities that we hadn't known until we actually went there. Very interesting things we never knew about. Another thing is, I would say definitely plan beforehand, just at least lodging, so you're not doing it the day before.
Yeah, tell them about the first night.
Well, the first night we didn't plan like wherever we were staying, so we just had to look on Google Maps real quick to like, where's the closest motel, and we found this like motel. It wasn't too expensive, like right next to the Capitol. It was actually called Capitol Inn of Montgomery. It was okay. Wasn't the best, but it was okay.
The first night that we went to like that camp, like we just slept in the car.
Oh, and then when we went to Chattanooga, because we didn't plan to go to Chattanooga.
Oh, yeah, that was the Chattanooga.
Yeah, so for Chattanooga, which was the, I want to say, second night, we didn't plan, so we were going to go sleep in the Walmart parking lot, but I was too hot and I was kind of sketched out, so we basically drove up to this campsite, which was like right down like the street. And we drove up the mountain, very dark, very quiet, like no one around. And then as we're entering, we actually see there's like a little, I want to say a sawmill or some type of industrial building as we're driving on the road. And then we get to this campsite and it says you have to stay here if it's already sundown. So we drive up into a campsite and, well, it was free. Like, we drove up and we got there and it was dark, it was pitch black, we didn't even know what it was. We were actually near a campsite that was like right across from us, or like a tent that was right across from us, and the people had their flashlights like all over the place. So it was nice, but it was already night, so we couldn't set up our tent, so we just slept in the car, and we learned from that. We learned. So definitely would say prepare lodging.
And most of the other nights we spent like on Airbnbs, and it ranged to like $30.
Well, no, you found some that were cheap. You found some that were like 20.
I think it's around $30.
$20 to like $40.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but mostly like around 30. And then like it was pretty interesting, the one that we spent in farms, like.
Oh yeah, and right outside of Chicago, there's a city called Peoria. It's like an hour away. We spent at a farmhouse, and these people were really nice. I would say if you do go lodging, prepare with Airbnb, because with motels, it's kind of like a first come, first serve. So if you don't get there, they just give up your spot because they don't really care. But Airbnb, it's you book it, you have it, no one can take it away from you. It's also much cheaper. And if you're by yourself or even as a couple, I would say go for like just a private room. Usually the hosts are really nice. Just look for like super hosts or like hosts with really good reviews, and then you shouldn't have a problem. So basically what we did, we started out in Panama City. We saw some friends of mine that were there. And then from Panama City, we started our travel to Montgomery, the capital of Alabama. We saw the Capitol building. We saw a couple museums there. It was really nice. Very, very pretty. After that, we went to Birmingham because I've always wanted to see the church where the Birmingham bombing was. We also saw a couple factories that were over there. From Birmingham, we went to Chattanooga. And in Chattanooga, we did our first campsite, actually. It was 4, sorry, not 3. We stayed at a campsite near Little Lake, I'm pretty sure. It was in the mountains, and we slept in our car. It was interesting, not gonna lie, it was pretty interesting. Chattanooga itself is very pretty. We went up the, what was it called? The steep elevator. It was it's basically a trolley that goes up the mountain. That's where we saw Rock City. From Chattanooga, we went to Lynchburg, which is famous for Jack Daniels. It's the original distillery of Jack Daniels. While we were there, we went on a tour. From Lynchburg, we went to Nashville to just check out the city, see like the capital. It was very nice, very pretty. A lot of big buildings. From Nashville, there was a couple art sections of walls that were all painted. From Nashville, we went all the way to Memphis. In Memphis, we saw Elvis Presley's land. I'm pretty sure it was called
Graceland.
Graceland, yes, it was Graceland. Had a little lapse of memory right there. So we went there. Then from Memphis, we went to our second campsite, the one where we set up a tent and such, called Turkey Bayou in Illinois. It was very pretty. You really had to drive down a very long, rocky road, but it was worth it. It was a very cool campsite. From there, we went to St. Louis and got a free entry to their zoo. It was interesting. It was pretty rainy that day, so not a lot of animals were like kind of out and about. From St. Louis, we went up to Chicago and saw one of the big cities in America, the Windy City. We got deep dish and we went up what was the building again?
Hancock?
Yes, I think it was the Hancock building, or the Hancock district.
Is Hancock in New York, or?
No, Hancock is not in New York. So we went up a building, saw the skyline. It was very nice. From Chicago, we went to Indianapolis, the capital of Indiana, just to basically see the capital. I've never actually been there myself, and I've always wanted to see it. It's very small, but very pretty. They have a big obelisk in the middle. From Indianapolis, we went to Louisville, Kentucky, and in Louisville, we just basically saw like a couple restaurants, a little bit of the sights. Mostly though, we were in Kentucky to see my sister and her kids. We were there, and while we were there, we also went to go see the Mammoth Cave System and Lexington. From there, after we were done, we went to New River Gorge, and that was our third campsite, which I would have to say is the favorite one. It was very pretty, and it was much bigger than the last one. And it was much prettier. It was right on a river. There was actually 2 of them. There was the drive into campsites, and then there was the walk one. We went to the walk one because all the drive ones were taken, and it was a good thing we didn't take those because they didn't really have a sight of the river. They were kind of like in the woods and you couldn't really see anything. But we had a side river. It was very nice sight. We saw like the sunset. We saw there was a train actually right across the river. Very pretty sight. From there we went up to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We saw the Heinz Center, the Heinz History Center. So for anyone that knows about Heinz, like ketchup, they have mustard products, they have sambil in here. They actually have like 3 different ones that we've tried. They're really good. They have a whole bunch of flavors though. So from Pittsburgh, we went to Niagara, New York, saw Niagara Falls, took pictures. We're really happy to see it. We didn't do the different tours that were for it because we didn't know that there was actually another tour that was like right across the way. After that, we went to New York City, like the main place you're always supposed to go. We saw Times Square, we saw the different bridges, we saw the Empire State Building, Central Park. We actually saw the Statue of Liberty from a distance. We weren't able to go on tour there. We went by Coney Island, we took the subway. It was nice. Not the cleanest city though, but it was nice overall. From New York, we went down to near the Delaware River to celebrate Catherine's birthday at a nice restaurant. It was nice. From there, we went to Washington, D.C. Well, we went through Baltimore as a stop, saw it, then went through Washington, D.C. We saw the Washington Monument, but we didn't really see that many other things because it was really hot that day. It was just hard to walk and we were just like tired, so we just decided to move on. From there, we went to our last and final campsite in the George Washington National Forest, which is in Virginia. And from there, we had like a little forest that was like really in the woods, so it was covered, like you couldn't really see anything else, just the road. It was nice though. It was peaceful out there. From there, we went south to North Carolina in Charlotte, and we went through Salem, Salem Winston-Salem, yeah, in North Carolina. They actually have the only, I'm pretty sure the only Shell station that looks like a Shell. I'm upset we didn't get to see that, but we did go through there. Then we saw Charlotte, very pretty city. We went to a couple of their parks, a couple of their lakes. They were very nice, very beautiful environment. From there, we actually went west to Pisgah, in like near Hendersonville. We went to Pisgah National Forest, where we saw Looking Glass Falls. We went by Asheville, and we saw the downtown area, which had changed from the last time I've been there, and it was very pretty, very, very nice. A lot of hippie vibes too. So from there we went to Atlanta. In Atlanta we saw the aquarium, which you saw the most recent video of, as well as the St. Augustine video. We saw the aquarium, it was very pretty. We saw the Coca-Cola Center, but we didn't go on tour there. We also went to the city. It was very big, very cool. From there we went down to St. Augustine, and we saw the big Castillo, what was it called? Castillo del...
I don't remember.
It was a big fort that was built back in the 1500s by the Spanish, and we went to St. Augustine, the oldest city in America. And from there we went on a chocolate tour of the Whetstone chocolate factory. Very nice. Kat was happy. She saw a lot of chocolate, ate a lot of chocolate. She loves chocolate. And then from there we went to Orlando, saw her friends that we haven't seen for that whole time we were away. And then we went home. And now I'm here in Indonesia.
So that's basically it.
That's basically it. And then Catherine, if I was talking a bit too fast, Catherine will actually translate all that for you.
No, I'm not gonna translate it. I changed my mind.
She's going to, don't worry.
No.
She might put subtitles like right here. Just
No,
saying,
it's
like,
too much. It's
oh no,
too
she'll do it. Don't worry.
No. Just watch the playlist for the road trips, and for the Indonesian guys that wanna like interested about it more, just give a comments down below.
And we'll answer your comments in an orderly fashion.
Alright, so
Alright. Thank you for joining us on this amazing journey, and we have more videos to show you. And if you have any recommendations of videos you'd want to see, any challenges you would want us to do, just let us know in the comments below. So, please have a good rest of your day. And don't forget to like,
comment,
and
subscribe. Bye.